the night of the rising shadows. I was sitting in class, lost in the rhythm of the lesson, when the emergency alert buzzed on every phone in the room. A virus was spreading, fast. We were ordered to remain inside. The building, once an old home I had lived in during my childhood, now stood tall as our school with 4 floors. Then, as if the world itself had decided to unravel, an airplane made a sharp descent, crash landing just outside the school compound. We barely had time to react before the head teacher's voice echoed through the halls. Those of us on the first floor were to move to the 3rd or 4th. The survivors of the crash would be quarantined below. My friends and I chose the 4th floor. Farther was safer after all. As we climbed the stairs, an empty classroom caught my eye. Something about it felt eerily familiar, like a scene from an old zombie movie. A bad omen, I thought. But there was no time to dwell. I warned a family friend, a teacher on the 2nd floor, to move her students higher. Then the chaos began. The survivors from the crash weren't just infected. They were turning. It spread faster than we could comprehend. Bites turning students, teachers, and friends into mindless creatures. From the 4th floor, we watched in horror as the school was consumed. We whispered theories, trying to make sense of it all, but before long the infection reached us too. I ran. My feet carried me to the rooftop, breath shallow, heart pounding. For a moment I was safe until I saw them climbing, scaling walls like insects, gripping onto pipes and windows. There was no way out. Except there. Another rooftop just within reach. I stepped back, filled my lungs with cold air, and ran. I jumped, expecting to plummet to my death. But somehow I made it. Behind me the zombies snarled in frustration, unable to follow. On this new rooftop I found someone, my old reverend, a teacher in real life. He was trembling, eyes hollow with exhaustion. "It's better to be bitten," he muttered. "Better to live like them than to keep running." The zombies found us again. He panicked and leaped off the roof. Bones cracked on impact. He crawled toward a zombie dog, offering his shaking hands. It sniffed him, then bit. His body convulsed, then stilled. When he rose again, he was no longer himself. I had no time to mourn. The dog had given me insight. They sniffed before they attacked. I had one desperate idea. I found a fallen corpse and tore through its flesh, smearing the rotting meat over my body. The stench wrapped around me, thick and suffocating. When the zombies reached me, they sniffed, grunted, and moved on. I was invisible among them. Step by step, I walked out of the school, surrounded by the infected. And then salvation. Scientists had found a cure, releasing it from helicopters in a fine mist. Those with minor bites turned human again, frail and starving but alive. Those with fatal wounds, like my reverend, never made it back. Their injuries, too severe, claimed them as soon as they became human once more. As I stood among the remnants of what had once been my school, I understood what this had all meant. We are always learning, always adapting. Life will throw chaos our way, force us into desperate choices. But survival belongs to those who can change, who can strategize, who can leap when the only other option is falling. I had outrun the virus. I had outsmarted the dead. I had escaped. But I would never be the same.